Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Vinitaly International Wine and Spirits Exhibition. The 54th edition of Vinitaly was held from 10 to the 13th of April. If you missed it, don't worry. Go to vinitalyplus.com for on-demand recordings of all the sessions from the exhibition. And remember to save the date. The next edition of Vinitaly will be held from the 2nd to the 5th of April 2023.
Let's get this started. Hello, boys and girls. My name is Stevie Kim. This is the Italian Wine Podcast, and what we're going to do today is to give you a skinny recap for those, well, at the highlights anyways. So for those who were unable to attend Vinitaly this year, so we'd like to kind of give you an idea what it was all about. And I have with me today my podcast team, namely Joy Livingston.
Hello.
Hey,
everybody.
Joy, what's up?
I am very well, thank you, Stevie Kim. How are you?
What about that cold? That you
Oh
had?
no, I'm good. That's fine.
Yeah,
It wasn't COVID. I didn't catch the dreaded scourge. So I'm good.
Okay, so all right, excellent, COVID-free. And then we have Richard Hough.
Yes.
Yes,
Good morning.
Richard. Remind the audience who you are.
Yeah, I'm Richard from Glasgow.
And now we can't tell
I'm
by your accent.
I'm basically a copywriter and translator, I suppose.
You're part of our editorial
Part of
team.
your editorial staff, yeah.
Yes.
Here in Verona.
Okay, excellent. And we have Cynthia Chaplin.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, Cynthia?
I'm good.
So, Cynthia, of course, why don't you introduce yourself? You do it much better than I do.
So I'm Cynthia, also part of the team here in Verona. I do editorial projects and work with Viale, and I'm the host of Voices on the podcast and sort of the person who floats around the office doing all the bits and pieces that come up.
Okay, excellent. And of course, we have other members at the office, but we kind of here have people who, quote unquote, speak English this morning because I couldn't be bothered recruiting the others because I'm not feeling so nice this morning. I'm not in a bad mood, but just, I want to get this over with. So let's start. Vinitaly, we'd like to call it the Vinitaly Marathon because it actually starts on the 1st of April. It started on 1st of April. Yeah, April Fool's Day, I know. So I know many people think Vinitaly is only 4 days. This year was from 10th till the 13th of April, from Sunday to Wednesday, 4 days. But for us, Vinitaly actually starts on the 1st of April. From the 1st to the 3rd, it is what we call 5-star wines and wine without walls. That's 3 days of wine competition. And then immediately following that, from the 4th till the 7th of April, it is the flagship Vinitaly International Academy certification course. And then, of course, we had a day of quote-unquote a pause, but everyone was working, of course. And on the 9th, which was the Saturday, we had the Offer Wine event, the premier opening event to Vinitaly. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. 5-star wines. Tell us a little bit about 5-star wines, who the judges were, how many were they, and how many producers participated. Can you give us a little overview of that, Cynthia?
Of course. So 5-star wines was a big selection this year. We had 2,300 wines from 745 producers all across Italy. Our judging panel was composed of 72 wine professionals, 8 of whom are masters of wine. We had a great 6-member general chair panel with Caro Maurer, the first German MW, female German MW. And the judging took place over 3 days. And out of our 2,300 wines, 960 scored 90 and above.
Excellent. And can you give us the names of the awardees? I mean, at least the trophies.
Sure, of course. The best wine overall was from Cantina della Vernaccia, and it was Vernaccia di Oristano Giudices. The best red was from Marchesi di Cantaneo. And the wine was Adorno Giustiniani, Gabbiano DOC Riserva a Matilde Giustiniani.
Wow, you're butchering all of this.
Sorry, I put it in Giustiniani. Giustiniani.
Maybe we needed an Italian after all. Okay, go ahead.
The best white was from Terre Cortesi Moncaro, and it was a Verdicchio dei Castelli di Jesi, DOC Fondiglier. And the best sparkling was Terre di San Vernazio, Fortunato, Valdobbiadene, DOCG Superiore di Cartise, Spumante Brut.
Okay, excellent. So for those of you who are listening, if you're interested in having the details and the list of all of the awardees of 5-star wines and Wine Without Walls, you can find, of course, on our website, 5starwines.it. You can get the complete list of the awardees. And you can follow the... there's a huge, of course, social media going on. So that's 5-star wines. All right, number 5. All right, and then, of course, we had Vinitaly International Academy, which Jacopo Fanciulli, Lan left us. I haven't even seen it. Has anyone seen Lan?
No, I
during Vinitaly?
messaged him.
And what did he say?
Oh no, I just needed him to help me fix Himalaya.
Yeah, we couldn't care less.
I'm like, help me fix this. And he's like,
He's only worked here 5 years.
Yeah,
Now he's forgotten already.
well, he has, because he texts me back and he says, you should just write to them and complain. I'm like, but
Like in what language?
in
Thank you very much.
Chinese, in Mandarin. I'm like,
Nice.
Thanks.
This
Dad.
is such slang. I had to actually tap him because my WeChat, when I changed my phone, of course, my WeChat, he had registered it under his phone number. So
our Himalaya is also registered under his phone number.
yeah, we got to take care of that. Lan, I hope you're listening to this episode. We need to have a small chat with you, buddy. Okay? You cannot be hiding out in Piemonte any longer. We will find you wherever you are. I'm surprised he didn't pop by during Vinitaly. Anyways, because he's always around. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about Vinitaly International Academy, the flagship edition. This was the first... The bona fide. We did a flagship edition last year in June, but how was it different this year? Give me some numbers and contextualize how it went. First of all, we had Sarah back, which was fabulous.
Yep,
Sarah Heller. She is a great, great, great faculty member whom we've missed dearly because she was locked down more or less in Hong Kong. Now she's moved to Seattle, Washington, so we will be seeing her more from stateside for sure. And of course, Henry Duvar returned. Francesco, who had a small part last year, translating mostly Professor Attilio Scienza, he is now in Argentina. I don't know what's up with that. I have to try to understand what's going on. Originally also from Hong Kong. So tell us, do the little recap thingy.
I'll do the little recap thingy. This year's Via Verona was fantastic, as Stevie said, to have all the faculty back together, Henry, Sarah, and Professor Attilio Scienza, all in person. And thanks to Richard for translating Professore during the master classes. We had 56 students in person, and 21 of them passed and became Italian wine ambassadors, which is the biggest number of any class we've had to date.
I need to correct you, Cynthia, because the 21 includes actually the 2 ambassadors who were they were going for their expert level, Ashley and Ezra. But no one became an expert this year. It's tough. It's a tough exam.
It is. It's a hard one.
Yeah.
So 19 new ambassadors and 2 who were already ambassadors.
Yeah, we didn't take their pin back. Yeah, I'm not that cruel. I know everyone think I'm like Crudelia of Vinitaly International Academy. But so yeah, that was pretty successful, I said. We also did some master classes with our supporters. Again, thank you very much to our supporters. Do you recall who they were?
It was the Consortio of Lugana, Sicilia Doc, Montefalco,
Franciacorta,
Franciacorta, and that was it.
No, ISVA, which is the Italian Wine Signature Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we've started doing this as of last year. Because of COVID, we started doing master classes for our supporters, which I think the audience appreciate better in a way, right? I think there's a bigger value add. So they get to have guided tastings with both Sarah and Henry, as well as some members present, often also the producers themselves.
This time at VIA, the students tasted over 130 wines in the 3 days of classes before the exam. So that's really a great opportunity for people to taste Italian wines that maybe they can't get in their home country.
And actually, I know for the VIA community listening out there, I know some of you have written to us, reached out to us asking, how do I become a judge at 5-Star Wines? It is mostly, we have like kind of the steady panel chairs, and of course the super judges. We have the 6 super judges, and the only new super judge was Carol Maurer. The rest, Gabriele Gorelli, Daniele Cernilli, Bernard Berchy, Robert Joseph, and of course Pedro Ballesteros were on for 4 of them from the get-go. And then Gabriele and Daniela joined as of 3 years ago. So the super judges remain the same, but the other judges, and especially the associate judges, we try to give an opportunity for students who are enrolled in Vinitaly International Academy so that they can get kind of a practice tasting sessions, as their score does not carry any weight into the final, gets averaged into the final score. And then, of course, we have the Vinitaly International Academy community members, often experts, ambassadors, and so forth. So obviously now that we have close to 300 certified Italian wine ambassadors, we cannot invite every single one of them. But we do rotate and give everybody a little bit of a chance. If you're interested, of course, please reach out to us, and we will take your candidacy into consideration. Okay, so of course, if you want more information about Vinitaly International Academy, please go to vinitalyinternational.it, and you get all the information there, as well as I'm actually looking at the events page, which is kind of the calendar for all of the Vinitaly related events all year round. And Vinitaly International is very social media heavy, so you can find it on Insta, you can find it on LinkedIn, on Twitter, etc., etc. Okay, then let's move on to opera wine. Who's going to talk about opera wine?
I can talk about opera wine. It was on April 9th, after our pause day, which wasn't really a pause day, as you said. And that's our grand gala kickoff event for Vinitaly, in collaboration with Wine Spectator. And this year, Wine Spectator chose 130 producers to represent the top Italian wines, and 1,500 guests attended the event, where we also had Alison Napius, Tom Matthews, Jeffrey Lindenbluth.
I have a story about him.
And Miriam.
What about him?
What about him?
Okay, this is so embarrassing, and it's actually kind of funny. He's like the top Wine Spectator editor guy, right?
Yeah, he
took
taking
over
over
from
from Tom
Tom.
Matthews.
Okay, well, he happened to be coming in the door at some point in this time. And I was walking in with Margherita, the podcast producer that preceded me.
Yes.
And, she just came to visit, and, we were going to have lunch. I had no idea who this guy was. I've never seen him before, never met him. And I, he's like, oh, how do I get out? How do I do this? I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm talking, I'm all in my podcast mode. I'm like, looking for interviews, and I'm like, I've never seen this guy before. This looks like a great interview. So I'm like talking to him, like, and I'm like, yeah, we're down in hall 6 at 8. And, if you ever get tired of talking to people, you can come and chill and la la la. And this guy's looking at me like, okay, like he's super friendly. But then he walks away after we helped him, and Margherita looks at me, she's like, oh my God, don't you know who that is? And I'm like, no. She's like, how can you use the word chill with Jeffrey
Lindenmuth.
Lindenmuth.
Yeah.
Lindenmuth? And I'm like, who? And she buried her hands. She's like, I've been trying to say hello to that man all day. And I'm like, oops.
The poor Jeffrey. He has catapulted into his first Vinitaly ever. And I think it was traumatizing because, first of all, he had just landed on Malpensa, came directly to the conference, the press conference, the opening of Opera Wine. And he showed up, and I immediately just gave him a mic. And he started speaking. And so, I don't know if everybody knows, our listeners, Tom Matthews from Wine Spectator, the executive managing director for Wine Spectator, who has been, of course, a reference point for us, with Bruce Sanderson, senior editor, and also Alison Napius for the past 10 years. This is our 11th year of 11th edition of Opera Wine. And so it goes way, way back. We have kind of a routine, and it is really a lovely event that we absolutely adore. So he's kind of an outsider. This is his primer. He comes in directly from the airport, and I give him a mic. So then he speaks, and he speaks about how he loves Italy, and he loves in particular two things: Ducati, fine, and Beretta, the rifle.
Guns.
But it departs very radically from Tom Matthews, who I call the yoga man, and he hates me because he does meditation twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. So
Seriously?
yeah. So and I had unveiled that in another press conference, which he wanted to kill me for. So he, I think, has come to Italian wine world in a very intense way during Opera Wine and the days following Vinitaly. So I'm glad he came. I think it was great so that he was able to be introduced to the Italian wine producers, the community, and I think Tom was doing a bit of, the hand-holding and introducing him to other producers that were. And so, of course, he hung out a lot at our office. So glad you made that spark and love connect.
I'm sure he will remember me now.
Yeah.
The woman who invited him to chill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well,
Chill, Jeff. Okay, so let's go on to the Vinitaly. Oh, no, you know what? Excuse me, Richard, you are silent.
Yes.
But what did you do? What was your role at Vinitaly International Academy?
Mainly translating for Scienza when he did the master class at the beginning.
Okay.
And apart from that, we had a little book stand at the back of the auditorium where we were selling our books. And
Okay, but tell us what you did with Scienza. What was the theme? And Joy, is that going out on the podcast?
not the one from Via.
Why not? No one recorded it.
Well, it would have been recorded by Andrea, but I don't know. We have the master class, I don't know what it was called, the seminars that happened on the 10th and the 11th.
Right, that was during Vinitaly.
That I'm putting out starting this coming week.
This would, the one that for Vinitaly International Academy, if you can recoup that, I would love a replay on the podcast because then it can go on the Italian Wine Essentials as, especially for course material. All right, so tell us what was the
topic for this one was the invisible wines of the Via Francigena, and it was basically a pilgrimage or a journey along the ancient pilgrim's route, exploring the geology, the soil, the climate, the history.
Yeah, the usual geeky.
Very, very geeky, and to be honest, I was somewhat out of my depth, I think, on a lot of the
You were struggling?
I was struggling with some of the
Welcome to the club. Nobody understands
even
Scienza.
from a linguistic point of view, it was a challenge.
But everyone seemed to love it. I mean, all the participants, all the students, they came up to me and said, we loved Shinza's session.
Oh, well, that's a relief. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I spoke to one or two people afterwards, and I got that impression as well.
Yeah, so
credit to Shinza. He delivers complex material, but in a compelling way.
Yeah. So listen, can you just explain to our audience what Francigena is?
Yeah, it's basically a pilgrim's route that goes from Canterbury in England to Rome, and this would have been a route that the ancient pilgrims would have followed to seek forgiveness for their sins. And along the way, it's incredible, really, how, as Shenzi explained, some of the most important and historical centres for wine production in Europe have emerged. So the focus of this session really was those wine producing regions in Italy that have established along the routes of the old monasteries along the way.
Okay, great. So by the way, some of this stuff will be integrated into the new edition of Italian Wine Unplugged. Is that correct, Cynthia?
That's
you're
correct.
Coordinating this. So
That's absolutely
tell us where we are and when are we expecting to have the new edition, because the first edition was very, very extremely heavy, and it was 2017. So fast forward 5 years, and we are now finally ready to release a revised version. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Italian Wines Unplugged 2.0 is getting ready. Jacopo and I have been working on that. We've asked our Italian wine ambassador community to help us with rewrites of the must-know grapes, and that material has all arrived pretty much now. So we're compiling that. We're taking material from Scienza and from previous books that he's written, like Sangiovese and Lambrusco, and native wines, and putting together some of the history, putting together some of the soil, which have become important components in our VIA course. So those will be integrated into the 2.0 edition of the book. Reorganizing the structure of the book so it follows the course a bit more, taking some advice and suggestions from Henry and Sarah, because this is the book that they need to use for the students. So yeah, it should be ready to be looked at and checked over for corrections towards the end of June. So we hope to have 2.0 out before the end of 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. Not hope.
We have to,
yes,
because we've been told by Stevie that we have to.
Thank you very much for that clarification.
Yeah. So it will.
I just wanted to make sure that was the message. Okay.
Yeah, that's on the record now, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Jacopo and I want to keep our job, so 2.0 will be out in 2022.
Excellent. Love it. I love the enthusiasm. Okay. No, I just want to give a shout out also to the VIA community, because I know you were saying 30 members from the VIA community have contributed to the revision of the grape entries, right?
Yeah, and you know who you are. I'm very grateful. They worked fast and they worked to a template, so all of the entries will be much more streamlined and identical, getting the same sort of information, as well as benchmark producers.
Okay, very good. So moving right on to Vinitaly, which happened, it started on the 10th of April for 4 days, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, I mean, of course, so much has happened, 88,000 attendees. It seems a lot and little at the same time, because the past edition, in the peak, it went up to even 150. The last edition, I believe, was more like 110, 120. So 88 seems like a lot, but in a way, much more measured in terms of attendees. This, of course, has to do with COVID. There is a war going on. There are a lot of nasty things going on. And I was holding my breath. I didn't do my COVID test until it was over. Luckily, I was afraid it was going to be a super spread event, and then I And then the government was going to come with their soldiers and shut down the Vinitaly. I was just really, really scared shit. But finally, we have overcome those 4 days, and we have come to a close on the 13th of April. Who wants to talk about a little bit about what the highlights of Vinitaly? So Vinitaly, there are events, right? There are tasting events. There are some conferences, in addition to, of course, all of these B2B meetings that are organized both by Vinitaly, ICE, which is now called Italian Trade Agency. So there's a big flux of incoming attendees, trade professionals. And of course, B2B meetings organized directly by the producers themselves, which were about 4,000 this year. So let's start with like some of the wine tasting that we were directly involved, or the master classes. So Richard, you had 2 classes with Scienza. What were they? Tell us a little, give us a quick overview of that.
The first one was entitled Science and Prejudice, and that was on this theme of diversity and fake science and racism. One of Scienza's most topical areas of argument at the moment. So that was the first one, with the underlying message that whether it's wine or people, there's no Serie A or Serie B, as Scienza likes to say. And that was here in our auditorium, and it was pretty well attended, and also I think live streamed as well. So
and we're going to replay it also on the podcast.
Yeah. The other one was on the origins and structure of the Italian classification system. So looking at DOCs and DOCGs. And of course, being Scienza, I went back to the ancient Greeks and Romans, but brought us right up to date with the latest EU regulations, the structure of the national committee that legislates on these things, and then concluded with some of the big issues facing the industry at the moment. Things like climate change and sustainability, electronic labelling, and genetic engineering. So quite a mixture really from Scienza. The breadth and the depth and the scope of what he has to say was really quite incredible to witness and to try to translate.
Yeah, so the first day, it is also based on a book that you're translating currently.
Yeah.
So and we have also a series of podcasts. Is that correct, Joy?
Yeah, I have.
How is that organized?
That has been coming out. There are 10 chapters that he recorded. The first episode went out last week, and it's chapters 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, the week before last. No, last week. And this week, chapter 4. Next week, chapter 5. It'll go up to chapter 10. I wanted to sort of start it off with a bang. First 3 chapters all in one go. And then we're just they're really short, which is great because there's like a lot of information in each one. Of course, Richard's fantastic, soothing Glasgow accent just makes it all the better.
Yeah, we do this book readings, basically. It's a book
It's
reading.
a narration, yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
For those who don't want to pay for a book and not support the publishing industry, so all of you,
Boo.
I'm talking to you, you can at least listen. Free content on Italian Wine Podcast. Okay, then there were some other tasting. The first day, of course, there were the iconic women in wine. Cynthia, why don't you talk about that? What was that? Why was it called the iconic woman?
So iconic women in Italian wine was, for me, one of the most exciting and sort of super cool events during Vinitaly, because nothing like this had ever happened before. It was Stevie's brainchild. So it was Alison Napius from Wine Spectator and Monica Larner from Robert Parker's Wine Advocate. And they are 2 of the top journalists in the world. And of course, they're both women. not ever before have those two magazines collaborated on anything. And as Monica said, she felt very smug that her male colleagues would never have pooled their resources to do an event like this. So Monica and Allison moderated a discussion with 7 of the top female wine producers from Italy. So we had Marlisa Allegrini, Chiara Boschis, we had Albiera Antinori, Elena Fucci, Elisabetta Foradori, Ariana Occhipinti, and they all brought signature wines from vintages that meant something important to them, dates that were special, years that were special, and they discussed how women communicate differently, and let's not put too fine a point on it, but actually better, about wine and the heritage and sort of the soulfulness of Italian wine. And they all talked about what they were doing, what was happening in their winery. Some of them are passing their winery on to their next generation. Some of them are the next generation who just had their winery passed on to them. So very, very interesting. We also had Priscilla Incisa della Rocchetta was there talking about Sassicaia. So we had a great time sort of going over what women contribute, and it was very relevant. Monica had tested positive for COVID the day before and was quarantining in her hotel in Verona. So we Zoomed her in because we've all become that flexible and agile and able to pivot. And we held the event just as we had hoped to, with a full audience. There were about, I'd say, 85 people in the room, tasting through these incredible wines and listening to these women banter with each other. It was really exceptional to see them, talking informally and really from their heart, and having Allison and Monica there to sort of corral them and moderate the stories.
Yes, so I still need a bit of time to process what actually happened, because for me, they are my heroes. They're my rock stars personally, and the fact that we were able to pull this off, for me, it's a personal milestone. So I don't really have an opinion about this right now. Probably I'll need some more time. I do, however, want to thank each and every one of them. They all got on board, and they donated not just their wines and their time, but their stories. So it was not so much about, of course, they poured iconic vintage wines, but it was much more about the stories. And I love the fact that there was absolutely no mansplaining involved. It was not about that. It was about them and the stories and the wine. So if you want to catch that, all of this, both the Scienza and Iconic Woman, we will be replaying it on the Italian Wine Podcast, but you can also find it on Vinitaly Plus platform. It is available on demand. Yes, Joy?
Hello. No, it starts tomorrow.
It starts tomorrow. Okay.
No, tomorrow, Saturday.
Can you...
I would just add, as the token male voice in this conversation.
Yeah, you are the token male.
Tokenistic male. I agree 100% with everything you said about the Iconic Women session, especially in relation to the superiority of women in communication, but in every department as well. I would
you can still keep your job. Good job, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay, so those sessions will be coming out soon. So if you are driving and you don't want to search the net for these events, you can at least listen to what the discussion was all about. Again, it was the first time ever that something like this happened in wine history. So I hope you guys get a chance to at least to listen in, and we are grateful to be able to replay in collaboration with Vinitaly. Okay, and then what else? Yes, Joy. You are the podcast producer. I'm just, coming in to...
Well, you are doing a good job. I just wanted to say there was also Joe Bastianich and his music festival.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
Oh, okay, no, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I know you're a fan. That like first year you took a photo with him, right?
No, you've never introduced me. He's here like every year, and every year I'm hoping that you will introduce me.
Why didn't you tell me? I thought you know him already.
I've never met the man.
Why don't you?
I got a selfie with him.
Oh my
Even
god.
Richard Hough got a
Suck.
selfie.
But for my kids love him. They watch him on
MasterChef.
Italia's Got Talent.
What is that?
It's like the talent show.
I don't watch television.
No, I
Oh
don't
my
either.
God.
But my kids do. My kids absolutely love it. So when they had the Joe was in the office, they said, "Daddy, you need to get a photo with Joe."
Oh my god.
And I did.
That's
but
hilarious.
He was a bit, I don't know.
Unavailable?
No, he was available, but
Like who the
he
fuck
didn't
are
seem
you?
to
kind
like
of
it
thing?
about the idea of having a selfie with me.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know either.
See, Jose Rallo was there at Joe's music bash in our office, and I was so much more interested in talking to Jose Rallo. She's like my hero. So I'm like, yeah,
Actually,
Joe.
the music was pretty good.
The
this year.
music was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a good band. There was somebody, I couldn't see the guy's face, but there was like
The guy with the beard in the
Yeah.
middle.
That's a class. I think this
Wow.
is definitely a better fit for him
yeah, because I heard
because he
him.
had other bands before. I think.
I heard him at the Murano Wine Festival a couple years ago. Remember?
Yeah, it was bad.
Well, I wouldn't describe it as bad.
Joe, I hope you're not. I still love you, but you know that was just not.
I didn't. I think it was probably not the best sound.
Yeah, and it was at like night.
It was
in a tent.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Yes.
Anyways, I think definitely I actually enjoyed it. I was just upstairs in my office listening to it. I wanted to put on headphones, but then I was like, oh, no, I can actually listen to this. He got a write-up actually at Spectator. So,
Yeah.
I think he did a concert in town.
He did.
Yeah,
He did a
Allison.
concert in town as well.
yeah, he did the Vinitaly in the City, which he has been doing for some time now. So,
We should get him back and have live music in the office every now and then.
no, I
Every
don't
Friday.
think he's not going to do live music just for the office. You guys, there's YouTube, you know, just go on YouTube.
I really want Mark to interview his mom.
Lydia.
Lydia.
Yeah, let's make that happen. Let's
Okay.
bring Lydia.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, can we get back to Vinitaly wrap up?
Yes.
Okay, and then what else happened in
There
terms
was
of tasting?
Super Tuscans.
Oh, yeah, that's Super Tuscans with Gorelli. I actually posted the photo with all he seems so fierce with like, you know, all those like Super Tuscan bottles.
He had crazy eyes in that photo.
Yeah, he looked possessed. It's the real Gabriele Gorelli because he seems like such a sweet, nice guy.
He kind of reminds me of like.
He's probably a psycho killer.
No, he reminds me. Do you remember in the 80s they had those like little trolls with like those great hair? Remember for kids?
Yes.
He kind of reminds me of a sweet little toy from the 80s.
Except he's like 6'2".
I hope he doesn't hold that against me. But seriously, I used to collect them when I was a kid, and
Listen, it was pretty impressive lineup.
It
We
was.
had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16 incredibly old vintages for this new consortium. So, yeah, he looks possessed. I actually, I grammed it yesterday. People seem to love it. He seems to be crazy in that. Okay, so then that happened. What else happened? Well, we had some networking moments with the VIA community, and just bunch of tastings. So we are going to be replaying some of this stuff, and we had what?
oh my god, yes. One more thing happened.
Yes.
Sorry. Had the Maesro wine.
Oh yes, Maestro.
Maestro.
How can you forget that? You completely.
I didn't forget that.
Yes. Okay.
They
Tell us
wanted a
about-
soft launch. I'm hanging on soft launch. No, Maesro Wine Merchant, which is a portfolio from Gallo, and they came to our office and presented their top 7 producers, which was Argiano, Ratti from Piemonte, Piero Pan from Soave, Tornatore from Sicilia, Allegrini also from Veneto, Brancaia from Tuscany, and Yerman is also in their portfolio, but they were not present at the at the launch. So we had a great tasting of some vintages from that portfolio that were important to them, tasting sort of their signature wines as well. And we had Christina Kelly from ex-Gallo VP, as well as John Irwin and
our Italian wine ambassador.
Yeah, our Italian wine ambassador, who is working with them on the launch, and Giovanni from Gallo, who is their global sales rep and sales director, doing the launch. So fantastic new portfolio, fantastic new range, and a new delivery method for the storytelling, the heritage and innovation of those 7 producers.
So we actually had 2 additional tastings to welcome the judges. The first night we had Verda with all the orange wines. They even opened like a real, I can't remember, 1964. I think
I was there. It was older. It was 1952, something. I think.
I have a picture. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we had that tasting for the judges of 5-star wines. Then, of course, the tradition, as we've been doing this for the past 10 years or so, and Bottega del Vino, the Amarone
historic
family, they hosted in Bottega, because of course they are the actual owners of Bottega del Vino, the Mecca, the place which represents also Vinitaly in a way.
Which is a great event, because I have never been able to walk through Bottega del Vino in that sort of fashion. They closed the place down just for that event, and really graciously offered all their wines, and you could talk to the producers and actually see the place itself. It was very, very important opportunity to be able to be there.
Yeah, and we had the producers pour and explain and get in touch with also our VIA candidates. So that was one of the highlights as well. So
VIA students loved that.
Yeah,
they all loved it.
And we thank the family, the historic family of Amarone for that, as well of their generosity. So that is it. That is a wrap for now. We just thought that it would be nice for those who weren't able to attend. This was, of course, a very particular year for all of us, because of COVID and because of the war. But Vinitaly did forge ahead. There are a lot of interesting content that you can access for free, both on Vinitaly Plus platform, as well as Italian Wine Podcast in audio format. So that's it. Signing off now. That's a wrap. So hopefully you guys can make it next time. All the information. We're going to try to resume our normal lives now, getting back to all of the post-production, which there are lots of. I'm actually posting some photos every day. Yes, Joy Livingston.
Yeah, just before we go, don't forget to mention that because, of course, post-production includes videos, because Mama Jumbo Shrimp, our sister channel on YouTube.
What are you releasing this weekend?
Today, we are releasing a teaser to, it's called the Italy teaser.
Oh, with Dino Body.
Yeah, exactly. And
Dino, be careful.
Yeah, so that's going out tonight.
And what about the cats video with Steve Way, where I'm not listening to him?
I promise to schedule. Well, first of all, Dino Bori's interview will be tomorrow. Saturday, 6 p.m. I have decided blanket 6 p.m. is the golden hour that I will release all videos on the Mama Jumbo Shrimp channel on a Friday or a Saturday or both. But next week I will release that very hilarious video of you and Steve
at Cat's Deli in New York. Yeah. That is one not to miss. Everybody who's listening, that video is absolutely great.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry. Continue.
Okay. All right. So looking forward to seeing you here or there. We will be launching Vinitaly International Academy in London, I believe in Germany. We're trying to figure out, we're trying to recoup Hong Kong. They're still in lockdown, as well as China. Also stateside, we'll still be doing something as well. So look out for that. We are still doing the Ambassadors Corner on Clubhouse every Thursday, which gets replayed. Huge listens. Congratulations to all the Italian wine ambassadors for that. Mama Jumbo Shrimp, we are going to now resume our publishing of the videos. So we'll do a little bit of catch up on that. We have 2 new books coming out: Italian Wine Unplugged, it's the revision 2.0, but it's actually a new book in a way. It's not just a revision. We have many, many contributions from the community. We have Vine and Prejudice, which Richard is editing at the moment, and that will be coming out at the same time before the summer.
Before the summer.
The beta,
Absolutely, before the summer.
You were talking about end of the year, but before the summer, it will be out, both of these things, in one way or another. Otherwise, nobody goes on holidays. So that is for it for now. A lot of exciting things happen. We're working on a few special projects as well, but so stay tuned, keep in touch. And if you want to get in touch with the VIA community, both Cynthia and Jacopo, that's via@justdothework.it. For Italian Wine Podcast, it's info@italianwinepodcast.com. And then what do you do, Richard? Nothing. Okay,
Nothing.
That's it. Don't get in touch with
at this point in the
We are absolutely, we are absolutely all over. You guys do me a favor, go on Spotify and follow us because we got delisted and we had to
mention that.
Yes, we need more.
Time.
Yeah, because we have to start all over again. So, anyways, we still love you. Thank you for supporting us. And we will see you next time. Ciao ragazzi.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Vinitaly International Wine and Spirits Exhibition, the biggest drinks trade fair in the world. Save the date. The next edition of Vinitaly will be held the 2nd through the 5th of April 2023. Remember to subscribe to Italian Wine Podcast and catch us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and wherever you get your pods. You can also find us at italianwinepodcast.com. Chin chin!
Hi guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to italianwinepodcast.com.